In this video, I want to share some 5 interviews hack you can leverage as a Scrum Master. So you want to stay up to the end because I am going to give you what you might be missing in the game. They might not also be hacked because you already know what it is, just that you're not paying attention to it. Hello, welcome to the Scrum Chat Room with Dr. Francis Ibunya. We keep it real and we bring to you what you already know, but then we tweak it in a way that you can maximize it and that can help you close that gap in your journey as a Scrum Master, as a coach, whatever you might be doing in that agile space. This is the moment for us to get it real. Before we get started for today, let's get into some ground rules. For those who want to be SAFe Scrum Master Certified, if you've been applying, you realize that having a SAFe Scrum Master Certification is one of those top sought after certification in the field. We have a training coming up Monday. It's going to start on the 15th of August. Plug in, it's just less than $1,000 and get some real hand-on experience. For those you've been in the market and it seems like it's not going, you need a coach. Reach out and I'll definitely look at how I can help you. All right, without beating around the bush so much, let's get into the real talk for today. What are some of the top 5 interview hacks you can leverage as a Scrum Master? I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1 is going to be mastering your environment, which is your superpower. A lot of people do not pay attention to what they have, which means the value they are bringing into the environment, especially when they get into an interview. They're paying attention on what the interviewer is going to ask them. So because their focus is so much on what the interviewer is going to ask them and how they're going to respond to it, they kind of freak out. Now, your superpower is your environment. It doesn't matter what your background is. The goal for you to becoming an effective Scrum Master is not to be a guru in IT. It's not to be a guru in Scrum Master. It's not to be effective in understanding every Scrum event, every framework, or every definition. It is to master what the basic you need to do as a Scrum Master and how you can leverage your own environment, where you're coming from, to actually kind of break through that situation. All right, I'm going to give a couple of scenarios. Let's say that your background is in healthcare and you're trying to break through a Scrum environment, right? And you get into an interview and someone say, all right, can you tell me about agile project delivery? Okay, how can you leverage your environment to effectively answer that question? Let's consider that you have no idea about what agile project delivery is. So in order to leverage your environment as your expertise, now what you want to think about is just you being, let's say, in a management situation as a nurse, right? And you need to deliver something. Oh, let's kind of not really take that too far. Let's kind of bring it down to some of the basic skills you should be mastering before going for an interview. Let's say that you have said that you work with United Health as a Scrum Master, and that question comes to you. What you want to think about is kind of take them to your environment. All right, so while working at United Health as a Scrum Master, one of the value which I help my team to do is to be able to deliver value every sprint, right? Because I'm saying that is to deliver value every sprint. Now the idea of agile value driven come into mind and I can quickly switch into that. It's kind of a bit tricky, but the goal is not for you to master what the interviewer is going to say, is to master your own environment. So any question you ask me, tell me about maybe your Scrum sprint planning. I'm not going to try to explain sprint planning to you. I'm going to bring you to my environment. I want to take, for instance, sprint planning in United Health. This is the product we're delivering, and this is now how does that help you? In most of the cases, when we try to answer question as per the question which is asked, we're answering them in the blue. Now we try to start explaining agile concept rather than bringing it into our environment. And because we're explaining agile concept, it sounds so ambiguous in such a way that if you're trying to, let's say, define sprint planning or agile delivery, when you're not talking about the practicality of it, I can easily pick out the mistakes that you're making. But if I bring it to my environment and start explaining what I was doing or how I've been able to kind of get used to that situation or implement that specific aspect that you're asking, you cannot prove me as wrong because you were not in my environment. So your superpower is to understanding your environment and how you can make use of it. This take us to the second half, which is about case study. Now, your case study is, a lot of people just say, oh, I was working with a team and we're building XYZ, and that's all they know. Now, they're not taking time to understand the environment in which, they're not taking time to understand the company which they are using as a case study. They are not taking time to study for how many years that company has been in business. They are not taking time to understand some of the biggest business achievement of that company. They are not taking time to understand some of the major report or major achievement that company has achieved within the last 5 years. You can see all of this if you go to the company report section or newsroom when you get into the website of the company. And this helps you to be able to build a case study that's solid. Now, if you are telling me a story, what is going to make me understand, or what is going to make me figure out if what you're telling me is right or wrong? It's not how accurate you tell the story, it's how confidently and how easily you can talk about the story, right? Let's say that you actually went out shopping and you came back and you're telling me about your shopping experience. It would seem like so real because the way you talk about it. But let's say you're pretending that you actually went somewhere shopping, which you did not really go. The way you kind of communicate is going to be different. Now, what's the difference? You might still tell me about your shopping experience. You have been there once, but the specific day that we're talking about, you have not been there. So you can borrow that experience. Now, how does it apply to us as Scrum Master? All right, let's be frank, okay? Don't tell anybody this. Majority of us have not lived the experience. So what we're doing is that we're acting the movie, right? And those who are interviewing you, they know this. That's why they have so many interviews and they're interviewing people and they're not kind of seeing what they're looking for. They know generically that our goal is to find someone that master it. Most often they don't pay close attention to if what you're saying is real or not. No one cares about what you're saying, if it's real or not. They care about what you're bringing, how effective you can communicate, how you can help them grow as a business. Now, in business, there is something we focus on, which is called the business value. If, let's say, you have a very terrible headache, and you meet someone and say, look, I can help you take away the headache in 3 minutes or in less than 1 minute. You're not going to ask that person, oh, can you go show me your medical certificate, which university you're going to? Why? At that point, you are in pain. So the person understands your pain point and is delivering the solution. The same thing, it costs employer a lot of money to hire any Scrum Master. So they're not looking for you to create magic. They're not trying to see someone like really, really perfect. They're seeing someone that can actually deliver. So your role as a Scrum Master or to be Scrum Master is to effectively understand the environment. If you can understand the environment, getting a job would not really be anything rocket science. Those who have actually taken time and understanding some of the hacks which you are explaining here will tell you that when they get offers, they get 4 offers, they get 3 offers, they get as many offers as they want. Why? Because they master it. So one of the biggest problems we're facing in the Scrum field is that we're not putting in enough time to understand what we need to do as Scrum Master, so it becomes very difficult. So my first hack was that you need to master your superpower, which is your environment, which is your superpower. The second thing is that don't just understand your case study very casually. Understand also the environment. For instance, I can say, okay, I work as a Scrum Master with GM Financial. They are one of the biggest financial industry when it comes to financing car. And so I start talking about their achievement. Everybody wants to have somebody that has worked in a place that's well recognized. But if I'm not able to kind of say where I'm coming from and make it look valuable, uh, definitely you're also selling yourself short. So try as much as possible to understand the environment where you've been working in and look at how you can leverage that. Number 3, I'm going to talk about the conversational hack. The conversational hack is what a lot of people don't leverage. Now, why do a lot of people not leverage the conversational hack? Because they feel like I'm on an interview and my job is to answer all questions. Oh, I have an interview tomorrow. I don't know this question. How will you say this? How will you say this? All right. In a conversational hack, if I'm having a conversation with you, I'm trying as much as possible to understand where my weakness is. So I'm having a conversation to the best of my ability, but then there are certain stuff which I can notice that, oh, I'm a bit lacking, and it helped me to know where to fill in. Now, when you go into an interview with the mindset that it's a conversation to see if we can understand each other, it helps you to know, why was I not understood? Right. But if you're going because, oh, I want to answer all the question, I need to get a job. Now you pay so much attention in answering the question and the job in such a way that it's like, I don't understand where I'm going wrong. That's where many people are. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Now, what you're doing wrong is that you're paying so much attention in answering questions that you're not paying so attention on the conversation. Sometimes a lot of people, the reason they can break through is not because they understand Scrum. They can tell you Scrum. But then when you look at their leadership capability, now we're having a conversation, right? I feel a bit relaxed. Now, if I was trying to maybe meditate this and say it to you, I can only say a few words in a very straightforward way, and I close it. You don't want to be like that. Most often I advise a lot of people, look, if you're going on an interview, have a glass of water. When you talk, have a sip about that. Your confidence plays a lot. I've seen people, they've had jobs where it's just about your confidence. They don't really know much, but they prove this confidence. Now you take the little that you know and you make it big, right? All right. And in a conversational, leveraging your conversational hack, you need to master your case study. You need to master your superpower. Because if you ask me something that is around my superpower, I'm going to blow it up and make it a big deal. The one that is not within my superpower, I just talk a bit around there, and that's it. Now, number 4 is going to be resume hack. All right. How can the resume hack help you break into interviews? When you prepare your resume, make sure that you're adding value statement. Now, probably in the past 3, 4, 5 months, I would not really talk about this, but now, reason I'm focusing on value statement in your resume is because the number of Scrum Masters, the number of coaches, the number of people applying into a coaching position, they are increasing at an alarming rate, which means that if, let's say, 3 months ago, you were competing against 5 people, now you're competing against 20 people. So you need to push harder. You need to push harder to be able to even get your resume picked out. Many people have put in the time, they learn it, they know it, but the problem is that they're not even getting the chance to prove what they know, right? So you need now to start leveraging some resume hack in order to break through. When I say resume hack, what do I mean? For instance, if your case study show that you were working with a team of, let me say, full stack developers, and you were building, let's say, a seamless login or portal for, let's say, GM Financial. Now, you want to be able to not just say, I was facilitating Scrum event including XYZ. You want to be able to say, working with a team of developers to facilitate Scrum event to deliver a seamless login portal for GM Financial. That's a value statement. So you kind of incorporate your case study into your environment by creating value statement. It's going to be better you create 5 valuable statements under each position compared to putting 15 stuff that doesn't really make sense, which is what we see on so many resumes. All right, now, and the last one, remember the last is always the biggest hack. All right, so your biggest hack, which about 90 to 95% of people are guilty not doing it, despite the fact that they know it, is practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, help 4. All right, I say practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, help 4. What does that mean? Now, I know a lot of people out there, oh, I can do it on my own. I just need, you have the certification. You have been practicing. When you practice, you go for the first interview, you've been knocked out, you bring back your feedback, you go for the second interview, you've been knocked out, you bring out, you come back again, go for the third interview, you've been knocked out, call out, ask for help. Get someone to help you. Get a coach. Right, this is what you don't want to hear, but this is what you need. We've seen a lot of people that have leveraged the help of coaches and they have gotten the result. Ask someone that, if you don't know the value of coaching, ask someone that has leveraged the help of a coach. Now, I have so many people that are in the job market and reaching out every day. They need help. They don't know how to go around their duty. Leveraging the help of a coach is not something that you cannot break through the interview. Is that you start already practicing how to work in a real environment before you get there. Right? Because now a coach brings it closer to you. With all due respect to all the coaches out there, not everyone that teaches is a coach. Now, coaching ability is different from teaching ability. Coaching is about not doing it for you. Many people that are teaching, they're doing it for you. They're not putting you in a spot where you can learn how to do it. A lot of people, you have people doing resume for you. You don't even know how to defend it. When I sit with my student, I'm not doing the resume. I'm looking at you. I'm showing you what you need to do. Put this here, put this here. This is how you can defend this. This is what you can do in order to defend this. This is what you can do in order to get here. This is how you talk about this. If you've been asked this, this is how you defend it. If you've been asked this is how you defend it. This is how you can scale through every interview with all these 5 hacks. Hacks. Number 1, I said you need to understand your superpower, mastering your environment, go beyond the case study, study the company you're working on, understand some of their big wins, talk about their big wins. Number 3, the resume, be conversational. Put a conversation on in your interview. Number 4, resume hack. Add value statement in your resume. Number 5, practice, 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 help. 3 interviews in a line. If you're not getting it, pay for coaching. A lot of people say, oh, coaching is expensive. I'm still looking for a job. I don't yet have money. And then you look for a job for the next 6 months and you're telling the same story. Now, it's time for you to push yourself along beyond the limit. Invest in that career of yours. What you actually invest in and what actually costs you the pain. That's what you pay. That's what you've really focused your attention on. All right. I hope this was helpful. I know a lot of people waiting for question and answer. Don't bother. On Saturday, I'm going to be live with Coach Jermaine, and we are going to be having some really, really good conversation on Scrum, all the challenges. So take the rendezvous Saturday, 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're in the UK, that's going to be 8 p.m. We are going to be talking about Scrum. Come on board, meet us on YouTube, meet us on LinkedIn, meet us on Facebook. We are going to be having a real live conversation. Come with all your questions. When we are live, we answer all questions, right? It's for free. You don't have to pay. So I'm going to see you on Saturday. And don't forget, if this is benefiting you, feel free to share, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe. And that also always encourages us to want to do more. All right. I'll see you around.